7:05, we will call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I do pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Cody, would you do a roll call of the?
Will you do that first?
Oh, yeah, before, my
Yeah.
apologies.
Thanks.
A former clerk / trustee that served for many years in the township passed away recently. Her name is Marianne McDonald. So she served as clerk from 1978 to 1996 and trustee from 2000 to 2008. She was very dedicated to the township. Apparently really enjoyed being clerk. So if we could just take a moment of silence for her service to our community, I'd appreciate that. Thank you for that reminder, Clerk Cody. Now would you do a roll call of the board, please?
Supervisor Milky,
Here.
Treasurer Rogers,
Here.
Trustee Lannon,
Here.
Trustee Lay,
Here.
Trustee Over,
Here.
Trustee Thering,
Here.
and Clerk Cody here. Everyone's here.
I like everyone's here. We have an agenda in front of us. Happy to entertain any motions regarding that.
Motion to approve?
Support.
I have a motion by Cody, support by Oliver. I heard you both at the same time.
It's all good.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right.
louder,
Three of us.
louder.
Right on.
Motion by Cody, support by Oliver to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve the agenda, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. We have an agenda. We have no presentations tonight, nor public hearings. I am happy to entertain public comment. Public comment is restricted to 3 minutes regarding items on this agenda. If you choose to address the public, please state your name and address for the record. And with that, I will open public comment at 7:07 p.m.
Hey, I'm Blake Plump, 7700 South Whiteville. I'm here on behalf of my parents, Mike and Jamie Klump. They're over in Italy right now, so they couldn't be here. We drew straws last week, and they got to go over there. So they're actually over there learning about the process of winemaking and different things like that for our farm that's on the agenda later on. So they sent me just to help answer any questions or anything that you guys might have. So I'm try to answer the best of my ability if you have any questions. So.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Sorry you got the short straw.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Thank you.
Just so everybody knows, I had talked to Caspits regarding their appeal. I told them we would give them opportunity to answer questions and present at the time of the agenda item. Anybody else need to come forward at this time?
Excuse me, I do have a question. I don't have anything to say right now, but after the presentation by Julie and her concern, there might be something I might want to add, I don't know. It's concerning the water meter at the house on Isabella Road.
If you are a former representative with them, if there's opportunity during that agenda item,
Okay.
we'll let the Caspits decide if that's necessary.
Yeah.
The other opportunity, there is extended public comment at the end, but
Okay.
what I hear from you is you may be relevant to.
Right, I don't know right now. Okay, thank you.
I do have people online.
Oh, thank you. So at this point, I see no one else coming forward in person. For those that are online, you have to raise your hand digitally if you want to be recognized. We'll give you just a moment.
I don't have anyone raising their hand.
Okay. Seeing no one else coming forward, going once, going twice, we will close public comment at 7:10 p.m. that brings us to report boards and comments. I was not aware that we were having a new submission to the EDA in front of us today. You know, we've had that empty seat with the EDA for some time. So one of the current incumbent members, whose terms is coming due, I'm happy to wait on this because we just got it, but I'm also happy to entertain motions if someone would like to nominate Mr. Fig to the EDA. I'll leave that to the board.
He's been on?
He's a current member
Good.
for a number of terms.
Yes, okay.
I'd make a motion to nominate Clifford Martin Fig to the EDA board for a period of, I'm not real sure the dates.
Term ending, it would be June 22nd, 2020, 2030, 2030.
Through June 22nd.
2030.
Support?
A motion by Lannon, support by Rogers. Any discussion?
So Mr. Fig is a current member of the board whose term is ending and is seeking renewal for an additional term.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, I think he's probably on his third or fourth concurrent term.
Mhm.
I can't speak to that. He is an active member in the EDA as far as his input.
Mhm. So this wouldn't fill the vacancy that we've been trying to fill. This
Correct.
is just filling
A new vacancy.
a new vacancy. Okay.
As of June 22nd.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I've been familiar with Mr. Fig for many years through his service to the township on the EDA and various other boards. And I feel that if he's interested in continuing on the EDA, I would support that.
And I'll speak again to, he is an active member. The EDA does have an issue with a number of members that are snowbirds. And so we sometimes have difficulty with good attendance. The EDA did some self-examination recently on that. And so they're trying to examine how they can better cover when those types of events happen as far as Florida time, right, in the winter. But he's a good member. Any other comments? Anybody not clear on the motion? All in favor of appointing Mr. Fig to the EDA board, the term ending 6/22/2030, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Appointment is unanimous, so thank you. I know he will actually be thrilled to remain. But that's a good reminder again on that open seat on our EDA. And I think we have an alternate seat open on our ZBA. The PC's good? Trustee Olver?
Pardon me?
We have one on the Planning Commission, right, that's coming due because of the service of Stan Shingles.
Correct.
So he's actually done at this point. All
The
right.
last meeting was his last meeting.
So if you have somebody that's interested in any three of those boards, ask them if they'd like to serve. Board member reports. We'll start with you, Trustee Theron, though I know you weren't able to go to the city meeting on Monday, but,
I did watch it yesterday.
oh, you did?
I
Okay.
did watch it, so I do have a couple of things to talk about. The city manager, and I'm not gonna necessarily go in the order that they presented. The city manager presented some potential ordinance ideas for chickens. It's a big topic right now for them. There was plenty of public comment about their thoughts on fees and offsets and coops and runs and how many you could have and not have. So I didn't write down any of the particulars because they're not really set in stone. So I'm just gonna wait till they actually have decided on what they're gonna do. They took what the city manager had, kind of tweaked it a little bit, handed it back to him, and he's gonna represent. The other thing, they talked about the north pathway to the Bark Park. There's a few easements that they still needed to get actually from the Coyne family on that side of the road. Graciously, the Coyne family has given the easements for the residential properties. They did have to have an independent person come in and survey for the commercial properties, and there'll be a fee for that. But it's kind of looking like that's what they're going to do. It's the least expensive way to achieve the goal. So I was glad to hear that. And last but not least, one that I know you're all waiting to hear about, they did pardon the bear. So
Nice. For
officially,
trespassing,
it's,
or?
it's officially.
Yeah.
It's official. So it's good to hear. I was excited to hear about that. So
But did they give you?
other than that, that's what I have for them. Thank you.
Wonderful. Clerk Cody.
Yeah, nothing.
Trustee Olver.
I did offer my apologies to Trustee Thiering for not stopping by today and doing the warrants as I had agreed to do. And my only excuse is this is the first week that school is out of session and my house has resumed a summer level of crazy. So I apologize. We will take care of that.
I'll be in tomorrow.
Trustee Lannon.
No board member reports.
No county meeting?
I'll be attending the evening regular session. I generally go to the morning work session.
Right.
So I'll
Awesome.
bring that
Wow.
back at the next meeting.
So you got a light one tonight. I like it.
I've got nothing. Well, sorry, I'm trying to remember the historical context of the last week. No, I've got nothing because I was the week before. All right, we're good.
I have nothing.
I have nothing as well. I think we got the EDA report at the last meeting, so I think we're good to move on. Consent agenda, Trustee Over already spoke to the warrants, but happy to entertain motions regarding that.
Move to approve the consent agenda?
Support.
A motion by Olver, support by Lay. So that's approving then the accounts payable as well. You comfortable with that?
If there's an issue, I'll be first thing in the morning and I will email right away.
Okay.
I anticipate business as usual.
And we have it all in our packets.
Yep.
All right, any other discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor of approving a consent agenda, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Consent agenda passes unanimously. That brings us to our first new business item, 11A. This is regarding property on 2227 South Isabella Road, a request to waive the fee to purchase a replacement meter. And just for the record, in full disclosure, I was contacted by the property owners, so I've had an ongoing conversation with them and also in coordination with our manager, who has been dealing with this issue, I guess, for lack of a better term, probably a little bit longer than I have, but I wanted full disclosure that I've been having this communication, helping the applicant with some of the process. Mr. Stuhlgart, would you like to say anything on this?
Thank you. And there's a report from the administration that begins on page 25 of your agenda packet. Just a little background. Late in 2025, as part of our normal billing for water and sewer, we noticed that we were not getting any reads from this particular account. So we contacted the account holder, let him know we weren't getting any reads, and that meant that we had to get on premises to figure out what was going on. So we sent a letter, appointment was made, we entered the premises, and you have the meter, then you have meter reading equipment. And the meter reading equipment was, and there's some rehabilitation of some level going on at this house, some remodeling. And the meter reading equipment was not where it was supposed to be, hence, and I don't think it was observable at all. I don't think it was able to be located. But hence the reason we weren't getting the read. We put in a new meter. The meter that was existing and the associated reading equipment is the old style meter. We've since been, as we've changed meters, we're using a different type of meter. And so we replaced, at no cost to the owner, the meter with our newer meters. And when we left, it appeared to us that the meter was working properly. We received a call in April of '26 indicating that the new meter that we had put in at no cost to the owner was leaking. And at that point, it became unclear in terms of why the meter was leaking all of a sudden. I understand from what the communication from both the homeowner, the account holder, and our staff that the property was under remodeling and might have been no heat and all that kind of stuff. Our ordinance requires that the homeowner is responsible for the meter, needs to be located in a place where we can access it, where it will operate properly. It's their responsibility in the ordinance. So the second meter that we would intend to replace, and per the ordinance, the meters are the responsibility and the cost of the meter is the responsibility of the account holder. And so the first one we put in, they had an old meter. We wanted to get the new ones in, no cost to the homeowner. The second meter that we were now required to put in because the existing meter leaked, or the new meter was leaking, that was chargeable to the homeowner. So they were responsible for a 600 and maybe some change for the purchase of the new meter, and they would take care of installation because that's not what our water department does. Ms. Cassapit, and maybe also Mr. Cassapit, then approached the township asking that the cost of the meter be waived, and the Public Services Department declined to waive that fee. Came to my desk. I declined to waive the fee. It's pretty clear in the ordinance to me. And as an aside, not directly related, but maybe directly, there were 5, this was a pretty tough winter. There were 5 frozen meters around the township, approximately 5. And their meters froze. They weren't in the right locations. Their deal, their responsibility. They paid for their meter. And so I declined to waive the cost of the meter and then began the process of facilitating their appeal, which they have the full right to do, to this board. Hence why we're here tonight. The administration's recommendation is to deny their request to have the cost of the meter waived. We think it's precedent setting. We have similar people just this winter that have paid for the meter. The ordinance is clear in terms of whose responsibility is for the meter. And for those reasons, our recommendation remains and continues to be to deny their request. They made this appeal to the board. There's nothing that goes to the board without some recommendation from staff. Hence, our recommendation is consistent with recommending to the board that you deny it as well. So that's the background. There's a lot of material in your packet. Communications from Mr. and Mrs. Cassapet, communications from the township to the Cassapets, and I'm not going to go through all that. But so that's what I have. If you have any answering questions you may have.
Thank you. we have questions for the manager on this?
Seems pretty,
I'm sorry. I do have a question. When, do you know when the customer first noticed the leak after the new was installed?
The contact that we received was, I believe, in April.
Okay, so-
I don't know when the customer would have first noticed.
Right, but I mean, as far as the township knows that it was replaced in January, and the first contact that you had from the customer saying there was a leak was in the month of April.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
If you want your question asked directly, you can ask that too.
Yeah, I will, I
Okay.
will.
I only had one question for, I think, the township side of things. So in my reading, it talks about the original meter and that it wasn't getting read. And that makes sense, and I understand the desire to put a new meter in at that point. So it alluded to maybe something was missing from that meter, which is why it couldn't
The
be
first
read. I
one?
just didn't understand that very well.
the first
The
one,
existing
For
meter,
the existing meter.
there's a meter, and then there's electronic equipment that transmits through the airwaves the reading to the billing office. We weren't getting that read, which is not altogether uncommon.
Right, it's,
And we send a letter out like we did here to the account holder, say we're not getting any reads. For any number of reasons, you know, but we do need to get on site and
Right.
inspect.
Now, do we have other questions for our manager? I guess I'd like to, yes, trustee Landon?
I guess for clarification, you spoke of 5 other meters that experienced damage, probably due to freezing. And I'm just wondering the situation from the reading I've done. Virtually, there was a existing building that was under renovations. Had been under renovations since the summer of '25, and not much water use. But on those other 5 units, were they under a reconstruction situation? A home that was, properly secured, insulated, with heat?
I don't know the particular
No particulars.
conditions
Okay.
of each of those.
but it's the homeowner's responsibility to make sure it's in an insulated place, a safe place that's not gonna freeze.
Yep, I understand that.
Was there any request to shut the water off from the road? While, considering they were using the meter?
I don't know the answer to that, maybe Kim does.
No, it's my understanding that we have a procedure to go through to request water to be turned off the road. It involves filling out a form and sending it into the office, via our website, via email, to do it at the front counter. And there was no requesting of the water
There
turned
was no
off
request.
at the road.
Okay, thank you.
So in the packet, there's a document that talks about the meter. This is put out by the utility department. And it says property use, new construction, residential, existing building, commercial, industrial, and other. And what was checked was residential and existing building. From what I understand from all my reading, this is an existing structure, but it was under major renovation. That was probably apparent. And it says, there were no doors or some doorways that didn't have doors.
I apologize.
There was no drywall or missing drywall, insulation, and all that. So obviously it's under construction. So I just kind of wonder, should there possibly be something else on this form? It does say other, but wouldn't it be recognized that, yes, it's an existing building, but it doesn't say anything about the state of renovation. So I would kind of think that other should have been indicated, noting that this is a existing structure but under major reconstruction, and it is not going to be holding heat due to the missing doors and possibly windows, the lack of insulation. So I would, from what I read, it seems to me that it was apparent. So I'm thinking on this form, we're lacking something that could have been indicated. It is also indicated that the township was aware of the renovation going on. And looking at how the plumbing was at that point in time, you know, there was no real plumbing on the exit side of the meter, but the water was turned on, from my understanding. And it seems problematic that that would not have been having the water shut off, because you could have had failed valves, unions, piping that actually could have flooded the facility, I'm assuming. And just going through the reading, the time of year was January. We had very cold weather. So it's not uncommon for things to happen, pipes to burst, failed fittings, failed valves. But in my mind, when I look through this whole packet of information from our staff, from the homeowners, there was an opportunity when they were looking for a meter reading that we had folks on site, and it's not uncommon that if readings aren't being registered, to go in and do a manual reading at the meter and seeing what the situation is. I know through that time period when that meter was installed, for weeks, the temperature range was 6 degrees on the low end of the spectrum and about 20 degrees on the upper end of the spectrum for weeks. And so critically thinking of the operation beyond just what is dictated in the ordinance. I mean, we continuously come across situations, whether it be our ordinances, we learn, we improve, we change, we modify to make things in reality work well. So throughout this reading, in my mind, I'm probably, you know, I don't know the operations requirements and the standard operating procedures, but to me, we're assuming the meter froze. I've seen the meters. They come from the factory, they go through a long transportation process. They get collected. I've been in supply chain. Sometimes products could inadvertently be damaged somehow in the operations of storing, moving, transporting. So there's a slight possibility there was damage to the meter when it was installed. You know, you got plastic, joining, metal, which in my mind doesn't always make sense. Plastic, metal should go to metal and plastic to plastic. But I just, from a critical standpoint looking at all this, I think there's a real opportunity for the township to critically review all this information. I'm just assuming virtually everything said was true. And training is a really important thing. And this creates an opportunity, a real life situation for us to review and critically think through the operations, the conditions, the possibilities, the situation. And I think for the price of a meter, the training and education that we could get from this real life situation, I think could benefit the township. And I know the cost for trainings and things that we go to, this dollar value would be a pretty low price to pay to think about, is there any way we can improve? I know we have to get readings according to the ordinance and report those monthly, I understand, but in this situation, I don't point blame or anything on anyone. I'm taking what I read at face value, and I just believe that I think it'd be appropriate for the township to use this opportunity to critically think about all the pieces of the puzzle that transpired and find a pearl of wisdom in it that is worth considering waiving the fee of the meter.
I disagree. I'm sorry for your misfortune, and that's a terrible thing. But other people went through the same misfortune, and they had to pay for a new meter because they didn't protect it correctly. They didn't make sure it was not going to get super cold. The fact that the reader had been discarded during construction, you were not charged for another reader. It's like, here's a whole new meter and reader, and we didn't know that they're going to have a blown-in insulation company come in the next day. We don't know. It's their responsibility.
The replacement meter was working when the township staff left the premises, is that correct?
Yes.
That would be correct. So all the wisdom and all that, I don't know that we have a motion yet.
No.
And you mentioned a couple of things I just want to mention. They're doing a remodeling, fine. One of the, and I don't know how we can impart this wisdom, but if you're going this level of remodeling, call the township, whatever city you live in, have the water shut off at the street, and go about your business.
Did you have something,
That,
trustee?
I guess that's what I was thinking. Somebody can go in and do a remodel and do exactly what they did and not have an issue, and nobody would ever know about it. Our township needed to go in because of a legitimate situation and notice that there was no heat, wasn't going to be any heat, replace the meter, and in my mind, I would be telling the customer, and I understand it's up to the customer to fill out the form to have the water shut off at the road, but from a safety standpoint, I know if it was me and my job, I would shut the water off at the road. I don't know what that entails, but it's not going to be heated. It's part, I don't know. I don't know what you want to call it. I think procedure was followed from this standpoint, from the ordinance standpoint. I just, in my mind, I'm thinking if I install the new meter and I know they're not going to use it, and there's a potential issue that could be serious, I'm shutting that water off out at the road.
They don't know how long it's gonna take them to do construction or what level
They
they're
have
actually at.
100%. You nail it right on the
So-
head. They have no idea.
Like, the workers are going out, putting a new one in, they could've had everything put together in the next week. So they would've never had this issue. They didn't know. So, I mean, that, you can't say, well, they didn't know, and they should've warned them. Well, they didn't know if they were on this level, or this one.
And I don't know, maybe
You
the
know.
question was asked and maybe it was recommended by our staff to do that. And if that wasn't, they did their due diligence, if that's what happened.
I'll get to this later, but I'm going to answer some of that question that you have. I'm looking for questions for our management before I give the applicant an opportunity to make their case,
Okay,
and then we can have our debate.
okay.
Are there other questions? Well, I'm going to invite the applicant, because I had told them they would have a chance to present their information. Yeah.
I'm just going to pass this one. So thank you for the opportunity to, that you guys have given us today to formally appeal to the decision of the Water Service
Thank you.
Department.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry. So, so we are requesting that the board reconsider the charges on the meter replacement, as we believe that the damage was not the result of the homeowner's neglect. Our home has been under renovation since summer of 2025. When the Water Service Department crew arrived in January 2026 to replace the meter, the property was clearly under construction with no heat, no insulation, no pipes. We were not using the water, and no door. Despite these visible conditions and sub-freezing Michigan winter, the crew proceeded with the installation of the meter. My husband specifically asked the technicians if the meter would be at risk of freezing given the state of the home. He was assured that it should be fine and was told that shutting off the main line was optional rather than necessary precaution. We relied on the expertise of the staff and were provided no further instructions or protective measures to implement. Furthermore, we did not receive the department's letter dated December 31 to 2025 and only became aware of this existence when reviewing the board packet last week. We were therefore never given formal notice of any specific requirements prior to the installation. Now, again, when we bought the place, we were receiving mails. Somehow, from then to now, we stopped receiving mails. So we were having some problem with the post office. So I called the post office twice because DTE was the one who told me that they cannot send their billing to us. So I called them once, I think it was maybe January or February, I'm not quite sure about the date. And then so they told me that they'll talk to the mail deliverer and everything will be worked out. They did, and they told me that everything is okay, but then we still haven't received any letters. So I have to call them, maybe April again, because of that. So later on, they decided that we have to move the mailbox. So I did collect the letters and the mails, but never within those mails that I collected was that letter from the township. So we never received that. And the first time I saw that was when I reviewed the packet. So just to kind of let you guys know about that. Regarding the department's claim that the meter was not leaking when they left, there was no post-installation leak test performed, as the meter was not connected to the house plumbing. I think I sent you guys, I did attach the pictures when I forwarded the email. So let me see. So if you can see picture A, there's the pipe that enters the house. It goes to the meter, but then on the other end of the meter is not connected to any pipe. So showing that when they said that when the department claimed that the meter was not leaking when they left, they did not check it after they installed it. Why can we say that? Because there's no wetness on the ground when they left. But again, if we think back on what they claim that it was done and was checked, if they opened the valve and let the water in, and then they shut off the valves later, they trap the water in the meter. That by itself will cause the water in the meter to freeze and break the meter itself. So I'm just pointing that one out, and I might have to mention that again in a short while. So according to section 112.810 of the Township Water Service Use and Rate Ordinance, property owners are only liable for repair caused by, it says only liable for repair if it's caused by willful acts or neglect. We have demonstrated diligence by consulting with your crew and offering to shut off the main water line only to be told it was unnecessary. In the light of these facts, we ask the Water Service Department to take responsibility for the replacement cost. We hope you will consider the specific circumstances to this case and reach a decision that is fair and just. The installation, like how I've mentioned, there's no wet spot on the ground. And if we look back, so hold on.
If I may interrupt briefly, we all do have the pictures that you sent.
Yes.
in
And
our
we
packet.
read everything too.
Okay, all right. Okay. Sorry, my pages are not numbered, so. So anyway, going back to when they came, so I did mention that there were no further instructions that was given to us. So my husband did ask those questions, and it was told that it was fine. I missed a few points. Okay, but anyway, so we did receive. We emailed we filed a complaint, a formal complaint, and I did email Ms. Smith, and I was appreciative that she have replied promptly, but I was just taken back by her response when she accused us that we threw something away and something is missing, hindering their ability to read the old water meter. The picture of the wall unit was sent to you last Monday, I think, so if you guys have received that. So that is showing that the wall unit is still attached to the house until now. So nothing was missing in the property. When the crew came to replace the units, they did take the old unit away, and when my husband noticed that the wire was, they're not attaching the wire, he asked why the wire was not attached, and they said that the meter, the new meter, which I found later on from her email, that it was a Metron meter, so it does not need any more of those wires because they can transmit those readings to the office, is what we were told. So when the crew told us that it should be fine, we thought that the new meter that is very high tech is going to transmit those information to the office, and at the same time will be able to withstand the coldness of the house, because they walk into a building that does not have any insulation, no doors, no pipes, and no heat, because you can feel it as soon as you go in and into the basement. So anyway, but they still replaced the unit, and then like how I've mentioned, they did not do a post-installation check of any leakage after they were done. But with Ms. Smith's email, she said that there is something missing or was thrown away. Even if you look at work order number 15365, it states MXU not functioning. It did not say that anything was disconnected or missing that would hinder them to read the old meter. As I read through her email, she also said, unfortunately, it was found during this service visit that due to the construction, there was not sufficient heat or insulation in the home to protect the meter, causing the meter to freeze or break. Now, as if the renovation started after the meter was installed, the crew came in, they saw the condition, but they still opted to install the meter. She also added on her email, the meter that was installed on January 27, 2026 was a new meter, was operating correctly, and was not leaking when the township staff left the location. Now, I wonder how she came up with that conclusion, because there's no post-installation tests. Like how I mentioned to you, there's no wet spot on the floor, and there were also, did not ask for any buckets to be under the open tubing pipe. If they open it, then they do need something to catch the water, because the pipes are not connected to the plumbing system of the house yet. So when we think back at Ms. Smith's claim and what she alleged, that they did check after they installed the shut-off valves before they left, that by itself contributed to the freezing of the meter. She said it froze, and without heat or insulation, it froze and we are responsible. But if the crew opened the valves to test the meter for leaks, and they have caused the problem because they shut off the valves after the meter because no plumbing is connected to it, the trapped water inside the meter froze, causing it to break. She asked the board to set precedents on so she have recommended, so Ms. Smith has indicated that her recommendation is based on a precedent of holding a homeowners responsible for all meter replacement regardless of specific circumstances. To illustrate our position, if you consider a medical analogy, if a patient seeks treatment for a minor foot injury, and then the doctor will say to amputate simply because that was the treatment provided to previous patients with different conditions, each case requires an individual assessment. By applying a one-size-fits-all approach, the department is failing to consider the unique facts of our situation. According to the Township ordinance, the property owners are only liable for repairs caused by willful act or neglect. We have demonstrated consistent due diligence by consulting with your crew during the installation, offering to shut off the main water line only to be assured it was unnecessary, actively seeking and waiting for instruction on how to protect the meter in a house under construction, promptly reporting issues through the proper channels as they arose. We have been transparent and cooperative throughout this process. We respectfully ask the board to look beyond a blanket policy of homeowners' responsibility and decide this case based on actual evidence and the standard set by the ordinance. Lastly, we are not asking for any special favor or privilege that others cannot avail. We do not want the ordinance to be twisted by anyone. What we are asking from this board is fair and just decision. Even reading the ordinance several times, the context gives leeway to different circumstances. Our circumstance is different. We have done our part and we have shown that we were not negligent. We did our part as a homeowner. We exercised due diligence, but the decision of the water service have caused these problems that we are tackling now. They already have the power to cut off water for the main line. If the consumer will not cooperate, it is a powerful tool for them to use when they deem necessary. So please do not take away our rights to decide what should be installed inside our house. Because when we spoke to Miss Loveberry, she told us that we do not have any say to what that will be installed in our house. So that's why we have mentioned that. And again, in that packet, they have mentioned few things that we said that they took one conversation and merged it with the other and put it in one paragraph, and it is not right. It did not depict what we have discussed. So in one of these pages, I also have that explanation. But anyway, so if I go through the step-by-step incident, the first time I called the office to report the leak. Why did we see the leak? Because my husband went down the basement and he noticed that there's a wet spot underneath the meter. So he told me to ask, or he asked me to call the office, and so I did. So I spoke to Miss Loveberry, who then said that as soon as she answered the phone, the first thing she said is, from the main line to the house, it is the homeowner's responsibility. And she repeated that a few times, and I have to tell her, hold on. The leak is in the meter. It's underneath the meter. And I told her that I have to remind her that this was just changed last January. So she then said, oh yeah, we did change the meter last January. And when I mentioned that we were under construction, she said, I know. So after that, I did tell her to call my husband because I was not so sure about this, the specifics of the meter or the leakage, so she did. So anyway, she did call my husband, and and she sent the crew to the house. After that, she called my husband back again. That is when my husband told her, or he told my husband that the meter was froze and that we are responsible for the cost. And so my husband told her about the circumstances behind it, and she kept repeating to him that he cannot understand him. So it went over and over again, and she kept saying that.
I have to interrupt you because I don't know how to say this in the right way. You can't go, or as you're giving your demonstration, try to speak where you're not saying, she said this said, I said this said, because there's no proof of it. I know, like, just kind of state the facts and that's it. Do you know what I mean? Because
Now-
Jennifer's not here to say
But-
what you said.
Correct.
So
Now-
you can't do that. and-
Okay, all right.
You know what
Now,
I mean?
since you
The
mentioned
packet
that,
does that,
But I'm just saying, she's not here to,
But-
Okay.
you know.
but the township recommendation does exactly that. It references conversations.
and
I'm just saying about a public speaking. That's the rules.
Now-
That's like the or the.
now I'm just going to mention that every letters that we have provided, and when I filed the complaint and I raised a name like Miss Loveberry, I CC the email to her too. Okay. Now what we were upset at and frustrate us is the packet that was provided to you guys. They have used different words within different conversations and put them together, and with that it sounded terrible, but that is not what had happened. So what I was just saying is that to explain what had happened during different conversations, because what was written there is not what happened. It's not fully what happened. There were other instances in there. And the issue to it too is that when that packet was published, they never CC us or gave us any way to kind of show to to you guys that what was really said. So what I'm saying is that, yes, Miss Loveberry was not here, but again, the conversation was with her, and all of the other things that was done last time was with her. So anyway, when she said that I swore, that statement actually came from me. I said, I told her about the circumstance of the water meter, and she keeps telling me that it froze and it is the homeowner's responsibility. So with that, she kept going over and over again, and so I told her, now with the construction and you guys going in, that's not right. I keep telling her that it is not right, and I told her, it was more so, it became a question to her that, this whole thing is BS, I said, okay? And so I don't swear, but I said this whole events is BS. So that's the only thing that I said. In regards to when she said that my husband swore, or how did she term it? Yes, so she said that disrespected her. So she said that my husband disrespected her. And so my husband was also trying to show her why our side in regards to why we think that we are not responsible for it. And she kept telling us the same thing, same statement, that the homeowner is responsible for when the meter freeze. And so later on, when my husband asked her questions, she would always tell him that I cannot understand you. It kept going over and over again, that frustrated him. And so that's why he said, do you speak English? Because I am speaking to you in English. So that's where that comment came from. So it is not like it is being disrespectful to her, but more so.
I'm going to ask you to try to state the points that aren't in the information we've already read, and just try to wrap up.
Okay, so.
Because we have a lot of information in front of us, and
Yes.
I'm sure all of the
So-
trustees have read through all of
We
this.
read,
Yes.
yeah, we read everything multiple times and
Okay, so I think the biggest thing is that we have shown our due diligence. We have welcomed the crew to come into the house and was not disrespectful to them. But with the condition of the house being how it was, they should not have installed the meter at all. They are not able to read the water because we were not using any water. There were no pipes at that time. So the thing to it is, if they came to talk to us and inquired, why are we not able to read your meter, then we could have told them we're not using the water. So that's one thing. And then the post installation was not done.
Try to stick to new points, because you have covered these.
yeah. Yeah. I think we got it.
Yes, thank you.
Did you, as the homeowner, give authorization to the township staff to come in and install the meter?
No, they told us.
Can I talk so that it will not be session his?
Can you please get to the podium, please?
I was there when the guy came. I think I put it in the letter, and I think that's ocular because the same. I don't know if the meter reader is the same as the technician that installed it. If the same, maybe because the person who went there is the same as the person who installed the new one. So the first one, I believe that's an ocular. So they know the condition. There was an ocular because that's a day or 2 days before, and I invited him and said, okay, I will come. And then when he come back, they have already the unit with them. They did not ask me to, can we install this or no? Because if they ask me only, because we are going to change the meter. So to me, when they said we are going to change, that's their own meter. Everything in there will be the responsibility. Because they did not ask me. They will just, we are here to replace the meter. So we don't have any decision with that. With that alone, they took already the responsibility. They did not give us any. They did not give us any chance to decide. And if we are only given it a chance, I will see. Even without consulting anyone, I will say, please not this time. You can install it after the home is done, because you can see the condition is really worse on that time. So.
Thank you.
So what I would suggest is if you have any questions for them, and or if that may have all provided opportunity where you may want to ask another question of our manager just to clarify anything, but I think we have a lot of information here.
Mm-hmm.
But are there questions you'd like to ask the homeowners or our manager at this point?
Can I ask something? You guys stated that there were 5 other.
That would be best not to.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I only have one question. I'm kind of curious. When do you expect that you'll actually have water running in the home again? What's your anticipated timeline for that?
We just done with the plumbing. If we have today, we can test tomorrow, and then we will call the inspector to inspect it so that we can go to the second phase of the.
So you're insulated now, you have doors, windows?
Yes, we have doors and windows,
And-
but we cannot put the insulation until the
Inspection.
wiring, all of those
Gotcha.
will be done. So
Yeah, that makes sense, thank you. But it's summer, you're not worried
Yeah,
about
this is
freezing
summer,
at this
so-
point? Thank you. Any other questions?
I just have a comment.
Sure.
So, okay, the new meter, they had to replace the meter, either way. And they waived the fee of the new one, so it's free. And then they come out and they have to, now they're being charged for it. So, I mean, they could have been charged for the first one to begin with and just put it on later date or put it on then and then replace, I mean, but like, they weren't charged for the first one, so it was free when it's normally charged, correct? Normally a new meter's charged $600, right?
We would not have
Excuse me,
charged,
Never?
we would not, are you asking me, Lisa?
Like, yeah,
Yeah, we would not have charged, the meter that we put in January.
you would have never charged it for
Because we were
anybody?
changing it out to a newer style that works better, that has different equipment. So, we would not, we would not have charged
Yeah.
them for that meter. That meter was totally free, the service call was free. We didn't charge them when we went in April and checked the meter when they reported that there was a leak.
Have you
No.
had any of these new meters be leaky? Like, is that like a common thing? Do you
No,
get it?
they're tested in the factory before we receive them.
That's what I thought. Normally they are, but I just wanted to make sure.
Are we good with questions?
Yeah.
Trustee Landon?
Since this is being appealed to the board, it's kind of a unique time that, as the board, we need to get down into the weeds a little bit,
Okay, I have to
where we
think.
typically wouldn't go. But so the statement was made, the township was going to upgrade a meter because they saw this meter was older. They made the decision to go in and change that meter, which is fine and responsible. But it is also stated that the township doesn't install meters. You know, typically the homeowner would buy them and it's handed off to them for their people to install. So, in my mind, there's a conflict going on that we install the meter, but we don't really install meters. That's the homeowner's responsibility to do. But then I understand that there is water going to the house, and so getting reads is a necessary thing. But there was communication between the homeowners, between the township. I doubt the homeowners are experts in this area. I think a common, simple recommendation could have been consider shutting off the water at the street, as James suggested, and it was offered in the sense that you can call, but it wasn't definitively clear that you need to call, but that is the process that the township operates, receives a call and goes out and turns off the meter, but. I
Trustee
think-
Landon, do you have a question, though? Because if you have more to say, we
So-
can do that if we.
So my
for debate.
question is, new construction versus existing? And even further, existing that's under construction that certainly isn't weatherproof and holding heat. So when do we issue a meter to a homeowner? I'm assuming at any time, as soon as their plans are available and approved, their house does not have to be built, and we issue a meter. Is that accurate?
They get their, if it's a new home, they get their meter when they come in and pull their building permit and pull their water and sewer permit.
Mhm.
And then it's installed by the homeowner's plumber, or the homeowner does it themselves, but,
Mhm.
yes.
So then why was this installed, not by the homeowner, but by the township?
Because this was a replacement meter, they already had a meter, so this was an existing home, they already had a meter. We went out, we were replacing the meter with a newer model.
So
that's
there
why-
are instances where the township does
Yes,
install.
when we're doing a replacement, we don't install new meters, but when we're just undoing the two flanges on the end and putting in a new meter, then we do that.
Mhm.
Yep.
And
Or
nothing was
replacement.
wrong with the old meter. The
There was not.
township just decided,
Right.
uh,
The issue
let's
was
replace
the
this
reading
meter.
equipment, which was missing. The picture that you received was actually not the water meter equipment that was.
In the amount of $600.
Thank you.
So we've had a lot of debate, which I was trying to avoid to a certain degree, but it was good banter, but it was long. But I'm sure there are comments here because this is the appropriate place to do that. So I'm opening the floor now
Okay?
for discussion.
I know it's not a perfect world, and in my opinion, which is part of what we offer here, the meter shouldn't have been installed that day. And the water should have been shut off at the road. And they're doing a good thing for the homeowner, I get that, but with all the circumstances, they shouldn't have been installed.
Trustee Lannon.
I just want to make sure I understand the motion.
It's
Lori,
to waive the
correctly.
fee.
To waive the fee.
You're motioning
You
not
did
to deny
support it.
waiving the fee or.
Just to waive it.
motioning
You
to waive
supported
the
it.
fee.
You did support it.
I did support
Okay.
it, as I heard it.
Yeah.
Comments over here? Questions? I'm gonna take a turn. As I mentioned earlier, I've had a lot of communication with our manager and the homeowner through this process, a lot of it trying to explain how appeal process works. There was another voice outside of what may have been, and I'm not saying it was, but what may have felt hostile, giving that voice, or ear, I should say. I believe that I've been honest with the applicant, that I tried to indicate that I have no idea how this board will rule. I didn't try to set up anticipation of either a positive or a negative outcome. So I've been close to this, and I wanted that in full disclosure. I did know that per our own documentation from the staff, the original meter was not giving a reading. That prompted the call to begin this process, inspect the meter, and this is where it all began, right? And I understand Union Township wanting to replace the meter. We've got an active water supply that's live at the road. We need a meter on this because we need to know if we're using it or not. Now, obviously, it appears that they were not using it just based on the construction, et cetera. But nonetheless, I understand the water department's need to get that meter in there. And it was noted that it was due to the age of the existing meter. That's why the no charge, which was reinforced by our director's comments that it was sold, that we want these new meters that make it easier for those readings to happen. So it makes sense to me why this process went to, it's time to get a new meter in there because we're not getting readings. At that time, the existing meter was connected to the inlet with no real outlet. The only outlet is that one pipe with an elbow on the end. It was obvious it was not connected to the plumbing of the home. And then there was a valve on each side of that meter. And it seemed to me that, I'm assuming when they said the meter is working, meaning whoever installed it, they probably did a pressure test with that valve, the outlet valve closed, I would assume. And it probably did not leak at that point. And it is odd to me that it appears, and I can't say this is 100% true because it's based on photographs taken at certain times, it does appear that both valves have been left closed. That leaves potentially water in the meter, freezing temperatures, etc. Potentially led to the failure. In fact, the documentation from Union Township is that it likely froze, and that's what caused the crack in the plastic. Again, not that this is hearsay, but we only have what evidence we have. What bothers me about all of this is that, and this has been voiced before, but I want to voice it too, is that it seems like it was very clear this was not a place to have water in the pipe or in a meter. And I know the technician was charged with, you're gonna go install the new meter. It's not his responsibility. It is the homeowner's responsibility to request a shut-off. But I also believe the applicant or the homeowner that they probably asked the question, and we're following the advice that it shouldn't be an issue. And had they been using the water, I might feel differently, but at this point, and I think Trustee Landon said this, there may have been mistakes that were made. I'm not sure that there's blame that should be pointed at anybody, and you used the word blame, and I was appreciative of that. But maybe the process itself of being able to have flexibility within the ordinance to make exceptions or recommendations to say, you know what, maybe we shouldn't hook up the water heater yet, or at least not with water in it, and you really should close
Yep.
the main line, and that is your best option. So, is Union Township necessarily at fault? No. Could our process maybe be better? Potentially. So I like some of your ideas. But can I blame the homeowner on this one? I absolutely cannot. And that's where my decision to support your motion really comes in. Because if they were negligent, or if I felt they were negligent, then I would absolutely not rule in the favor of that motion. There, I had my piece.
There you go.
I mean, my piece is, I agree with what Roger said, the timing was off.
It's, I'm going to just say, it feels like this whole thing was cursed from the beginning, because I know Kim's very diligent about sending out correspondence.
Yeah.
And the fact that, and we know that with the post offices, I mean, even tax bills and things like that aren't getting to people the way they're supposed to. So it's a perfect storm of BS, to borrow the phrase.
And with that, we're gonna call the question, okay?
Very good.
Question is called. All right, we have a motion on the floor. Just for clarification, it was
To
to
waive
waive the
the
fee
fee.
for replacement meter. It was supported by Trustee Lannon. Anybody not clear on that motion?
No,
We don't need a roll call, do we?
no, just.
All in favor of the motion to waive that fee, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously.
I need
You
this.
can go now if you want, you don't have to
Sure.
wait for the
Should,
whole. Thank you.
I'm sorry, clerk, should we take like a 3-minute, 4-minute break for people?
Yes.
Yes, please.
We're gonna adjourn for about, let's say until 8:28. Give people the ability to stretch their legs. Call the meeting back to order at 8:33 PM.
Thank you for the break.
We do have a guest here, and I know we've already approved the agenda. Would it be the board's, would the board object if we were to consider moving items B and C so that we could
Absolutely not.
address?
So moved.
So, yes, I do not object. So, yes, I support
We have
this.
Motion and support, motion by Over, support by Lay to swap items B and C on the agenda. Any objections,
Let's get
debate?
this winery built.
All in favor? All in favor of
Aye.
that motion? Say aye. Aye. Both same sign? All right, we are going to item C.
Let's,
Get him off to Italy.
do you get to go to Italy if you secure this?
No,
No.
I got the really short straw either way.
Yeah. All right, so heading item 11C on our agenda, it's consideration to adopt two separate resolutions of support to the Michigan Liquor Control Commission for on-premises tasting room and banquet facility permits for the Heirloom Grove LLC agritourism facility. And Mr. Stuhldreher, I'm sure you have something to introduce on this.
I do not. I'm happy to answer the question.
I mean, I can just make my motion now. if you want.
I'm okay with that.
I'll make a motion to take two separate actions adopting resolutions. Oh, do I gotta do it separate? Yeah.
Under resolutions.
Okay,
yeah.
wait, where's it at?
Please use the wording under resolutions.
Page
Hold on.
58.
Page 58, hold on.
Although I have to
Couldn't
say,
find
if
50.
if
Wait,
you
wait.
have questions for the applicant, maybe ask before you make the motion. Are there any questions from anybody?
No, I'm very excited about this project.
Okay.
So like,
Clerk Cody,
so I got a motion to approve the PSUP, that?
Now, under resolutions on page 58, there are
Okay, I'm
two
on
actions.
58.
Yeah, I'm not finding it in my packet here.
Okay, that's fun. That just flickered.
That's not my page 58.
think there's two, there's that one.
Okay, motion to adopt the resolution of support of the application from Jamie and Michael Plump to the Michigan Liquor Control Commission for the on-premises tasting room permit for the Heirloom Grove LLC agritourism facility on their 80.01 acre farm at 5297 South Whitefield Road, PID 14-032-10-0006-02 in the AG Agriculture Zoning District.
Support.
motion by Cody, support by Over. Now, do you have any debate?
No.
Okay, roll call.
Yeah, I would like to make a comment at
Make a
least.
comment.
I also am excited about this, and I wish
I
them
am.
well. So I'm in support of this, and
I think
See
this
what
is going to be a boon for our community.
I've been bothered.
anybody not clear on the motion? Clerk
No.
Cody, would you do a roll call of the board, please?
Supervisor Milky,
Yes.
Clerk Cody, yes. Treasurer Rogers.
Yes.
Trustee Lannon.
Yes.
Trustee Lay.
Yes.
Trustee Over.
Yes.
And Trustee Thering.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to make my second motion.
Resolution passes unanimously.
I'll make a motion to adopt a resolution in support of the application from Jamie and Michael Klump to the Michigan Liquor Control Commission for the banquet facility permit for the Heirloom Grow LLC agritourism facility on their 80.01 acre farm on 5297 South Whitefield Road, PID 14-032-10-006-02 in the AG Agriculture Zoning District.
Support.
Motion by Cody, support by Lay. I don't know how I feel about this one. Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea. Huh?
Just bring in the controversy.
Stirring the pot.
I don't know.
Any
I
other
think it's
comments?
really good for
Smashing
the
the
township. I
grapes.
really like this.
Yeah.
It's,
Any other-
it's a great project. I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's,
Everybody
That's
good?
my
I
comment.
think that's the overall theme of this project is this is a good project.
It is a really good
Yes.
project, yes.
I'm glad it's in our township.
Me too.
Anybody else? Anybody not understand the motion? Clerk Cody, would you do a roll call of the board, please?
Supervisor Milky.
Yes.
Treasurer Rogers.
Yes.
Trustee Lannon.
Yes.
Trustee Lay.
Yes.
Trustee Over.
Yes.
Trustee Thering.
Yes.
And Clerk Cody, yes.
Resolution passes unanimously. Make sure for those that made the motion and support that you stick around to sign some papers.
I'll
Correct.
provide the papers. Okay, I'll have them next week.
All
I'd like to say, if I could, just my family and everything, thank you all, and Rodney and everybody on the planning board, and everything that we've went through for it. We're just as excited as you are, so we hope to not disappoint, and thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Hey, you too, thank you.
Now I just want to know when it's going to open.
That brings us to item 11B on our agenda, consideration to adopt the proposed Michigan Lottery Charitable Gaming Division's local governing body resolution to recognize Mid-Michigan Industries, otherwise known as, or commonly known as, MMI, as a nonprofit organization. Mr. Stuhldreher, can you help me out on this one?
No.
Well, he's like, no, I'm done for the day.
Quit calling on me.
There is a report on page 50 of your agenda, and MMI is applying to the state of Michigan Charitable Gaming Division for a temporary gaming license from the state to help with their fundraiser that they're scheduling. It's a golf event. All this resolution does, and all the Board of Trustees needs to concern itself with, is the question of, is MMI a nonprofit organization? And they are. It's demonstrated in the packet. That's all the action you're taking, is confirming they're a nonprofit.
Okay. I move to adopt the Michigan Lottery Charitable Gaming Division's local governing body resolution to recognize Mid-Michigan Industries, Inc. as a nonprofit organization operating in the township for the purpose of obtaining charitable gaming licenses.
Support.
We have a motion by Rogers, support by Cody. Any discussion on this?
It's a wonderful organization.
Oh, my.
Yes.
Definitely
Yeah.
meets the criteria.
Also glad they're in our
It's a
township.
resolution,
Yes.
right? Let's do another. Ready?
My Uncle Pat goes to the MMI
Yeah?
every day.
Anything else? Anybody not clear in the motion? Clerk Cody, would you do a roll call on the board on this?
Supervisor Milky?
Yes.
Treasurer Rogers?
Yes.
Trustee Lannan?
Yes.
Trustee Lay?
Yes.
Trustee Over?
Yes.
Trustee Theron?
Yes.
Clerk Cody, yes. All yeses.
Resolution passes unanimously. That it concludes our new business. That moves us to extended public comment, which is restricted to 5 minutes regarding any issue. If you choose to address the public, please state your name and address for the record. And with that, we will open extended public comment at 8:40 p.m. Let the record show that those that were here in person have all vacated.
I have a couple people online.
We do have a couple people online. I'll give you just a moment. Again, if you want to be recognized remotely, please raise your digital hand and we'll give you the opportunity to speak. See no digital hands being raised. Going once, going twice. And with that, we will close extended public comment at 8:41 p.m. Mr. Stuhldreher, we are in manager's comments. The floor is yours.
Thank you and good evening, everybody. I don't think I said good evening to everybody, but I have no comments tonight.
What the heck?
What did you say?
Wow, we're off our game or something.
The bus ride tired us out.
Final board member comment, item 14 on our agenda. Trustee Olver.
As a procedural question, I'm curious, does Supervisor Milky get to vote first each time in a roll call, or does it
No,
rotate?
normally I switch it up, but I was just reading right now.
Okay,
I-
gotcha. I just
I-
wondered if it rotated or if
I like to rotate it sometimes.
he had the
but
authority to influence all subsequent votes.
I'll go back.
I would actually, since you bring this up, I've thought about this too. I would find it useful if you always switched it up.
Okay,
Just, yeah.
Keep us on our
but I
toes.
can do it however I
In,
want.
in that case,
I'm just saying.
Hey,
Fair enough.
I mean,
you've been told.
in that case, I feel as though
If
I've
I
accomplished
forget.
something here tonight.
Yeah.
Thank
Next
you.
time.
go.
Yeah.
Things were going smooth for you
Trust-
guys.
Well, I was really glad about the $600 because I was about to just offer to pay for it myself.
That's a similar thought. Trustee Lannan.
Summer's upon us. Hope the community enjoys their summer.
Here, here. Trustee Lay.
Shameless self-promotion, but the farmer's market is opening Saturday from 4 to 8 at Town Center.
Treasurer Rogers.
I'm all set, thank you.
Saturday, 4 to 8?
Mm-hmm.
Trustee
In the
Lay
evening.
indicating no comment. Clerk Cody.
Jumping ahead a little bit, so September 26th, it's cleanup day. Tara is in need of some volunteers from the township board, so we
What-
just would like,
26th?
it's September 26th cleanup day, and,
Yes.
I know, I do it every year too. So if you can, please do. She needs at least 10 people to help out.
I certainly will, if I'm able. It's my father-in-law's birthday every year that time, so I will check the calendar and sign up.
Thanks.
It is a great, if you haven't done it,
It's a great day.
it is a great service to our community.
They're very,
has.
very appreciative.
Yeah, it is, it fills your heart, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yep.
You good? I just have two things. Something I neglected to say regarding the first business item that I think is important. Something I wrestled with is, as a trustee, we represent the township. And as trustees, I think we have the township's back, largely. And again, I'll say it, I don't think the township was necessarily at fault here in this case. But this was a good reminder to me that we also represent ownership. And I consider that our first responsibility. But I don't plan on throwing the township under the bus at
No,
any time in the
no.
near future. But that was a big thing for me, where I felt I can't place the blame here on the ownership. Therefore, I have to side with them. So I know we already litigated that. It was just a perspective I had that I thought was important to me. Out of this discussion, I hope it's okay I mention this. You can stop me if you'd like to.
What are you gonna say?
Okay. You'd like to right now?
Yeah,
Okay. I'll be done.
okay.
I'll save, I thought,
He called John.
okay.
Yeah.
I was fine with that.
I answered.
What I'm gonna bring up, and I'll give you the
He's
veto
gonna
power
say it
now.
anyway.
What I was gonna bring up is part of our discussion in management team meeting the other day regarding this issue, and maybe ways to address this better. Potentially.
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like me to speak to that?
Why don't you?
So we've had a few of these over the years, and most of them are clear cut. This one was just a bunch of he said, she said, and we throw around words like evidence and all that's BS. It's, you could have gone and waived the $600 in about 15 minutes, and if I was one of you, I would have made the motion to do so.
Hindsight's 20/20.
We administratively don't have that kind of authority.
Right.
And I was mentioning to Brian, the supervisor, the other day, that it would make sense to me to create something in the governance policy that would give the administration some authority that we don't feel like we have. And with that authority, I would have waived this too.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to spend an hour on an item like this.
Right.
And I know how these things go. I mean, you have you give somebody the floor for an hour, they're just going to wear you down.
Right.
And but I also don't think it's particularly fair to the board to have to deal with this type of matter. So, you give me authority up to $20,000 to buy stuff. We might want to think about some language that might give me authority up to $1,000 to deal with these kinds of things.
Would that be a policy, a new part of the policy governance?
I would find a spot where it makes sense to put in the policy governance,
Trustee Lake?
and I would draft language for you all to consider.
I think that's a good idea.
Yes.
What I was
if you
gonna
can do that, that would be great.
Trustee
What I
Lake?
was gonna say is, I think that it would go a long way to, I don't like seeing our staff get maligned as and made out to be the bad guy when they don't have the authority to fix these problems.
We don't feel like we're the bad guy.
No,
Well,
no,
I know you guys aren't, but
no,
We don't even feel like we are.
no.
I think we were doing our job.
But the situation
I
can
think
create a
this
lot of
situation got very
You know.
out of,
Well, and with that, I'm
You
sorry.
can, I can imagine that the meter reading equipment wasn't there. They could have been using water. They could jam a hose up to the pipe and
Right.
use water. And that's what people do.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's what these people do, but I've seen houses connect water to the vacant house and run it through the kitchen window to steal water. People do that. They
Yeah.
can do that in Union Township too. I've seen people take jumper cables from a power line and run it to their house.
Oh, boy.
Whoa,
Not here.
that sounds
Not
incredibly
smart.
unsafe.
You'd be amazed.
Yep.
And so all of this was just extraneous. I don't even think it was particularly relevant. You know, it was $600 and, you know, give them the $600.
and,
But the point
If-
being is, if, I can jump on what you've said, is to give that latitude a little bit, and I think, and so this question to you, it has the potential to give the staff a little bit of latitude within limits, where they can try to do what makes sense in the real world versus the letter of the language of the ordinance. And that's a slippery slope, I get that, I want to protect that.
right,
It is a slippery slope, and what I put in the governance policy will not outline, these are the conditions
Right,
where
right.
the administration is gonna say yes or no.
right.
You know, the reality, the way it works is just like it did here. What do you feel in your gut? And I've met with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that are appealing water stuff. And sometimes it's, if they're talking on the phone while we're talking or answering a phone call, I don't think that's appropriate, so I'm gonna likely say no,
Yeah,
you know. I'm not gonna conduct an investigation.
right.
You know, it's not worth the time. So you listen, you use a little judgment, it's what you pay me for, and I'm gonna make the call. But, you know, it may just be, you know, if you call and you get cranky with me and start berating me, I'm gonna tell you no.
Right,
And
And-
and they can still come to the board.
right. Can I say something, add something, Mark? And if that was already in place and you could make that call, we wouldn't have unhappy ownership telling their friends, you know what, Union Township
In the
is.
meantime,
Yeah.
yeah.
They'd be taken care of.
I mean, has everybody seen the place we're talking about?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
And I know I'm on TV, but you got people doing their own remodel. Why they didn't turn it off at the street, asked to have it turned off at the street. They wouldn't have created the problem that they had.
right,
The meter reading was not transmitting. That's because it was no longer, it was in one of the 3 junk piles that's on the property from
Right.
the remodel.
right.
That's where, I'm sure it is.
Yep.
That's a meter reading thing. It's not that the meter even wasn't working. The meter reading was gone. Why is it gone? Who knows?
All right, so regarding this idea, because I don't want to relitigate what we already
No.
approved, while if we were to pursue something like that, my number one concern is in the event that a waiver was given, in other words, a request from a resident or business was approved that might be in that gray area, I would want that reported to the board so that we're aware, because that's how corrupt things potentially could happen.
Yes.
Right? And I'm not suggesting that that would happen. But that's why there's oversight on something like that, so that you don't see favors for friends, right?
Yeah.
And the township used to operate that way a long time ago, and I would not be okay if
Right.
any of that happened again.
Okay.
Look forward to
Good.
seeing the policy language.
Pardon me?
I look forward to seeing the policy language.
Yep.
That's smart.
And with that, unless there's something good for the order, our business is concluded. At 8:54, we will adjourn.
Thank you.
Sign both of these.
I love